And welcome once again to Rodman World. And today I want to discuss something I've had a lot of people ask me about. A lot of people sort of confused about the full situation, and I don't have all the answers myself, but I'll give you what I've got. And it's to do with Capcom, Concept, Legends 3, and that whole situation. So I'm going to just give you basically my 2 cents, how I feel about all of it, and what I know of what happened and what was involved. So I guess I will take it from the top. In November of 2010, a very well-known game developer, Keiji Inafune, and I'm probably massacring that name, he left Capcom. I was going to say was let go, but he left Capcom of his own free will, frustrated after years of being forced further and further into management and farther away from game development itself. He got upset enough that he finally just up and left. Now, a lot of you will be familiar with his work, especially, I mean, if you're watching this, you know my love of his most famous franchise, Mega Man. He was also involved in Street Fighter. He was huge in Dead Rising. God, so much of their work was his. Inafune was really key in a lot of Capcom's research and development, a lot of their games, and in a lot of that sort of that era of the 80s and 90s when Capcom was the king, when they were on top of everything. Their arcade division was booming. Their home console games were spectacular. They took a lot of risks. They did new innovative things. They were one of my most favorite game developers ever. And with little surprise, I mean, look at all of the things they've done with Ghosts and Goblins, Mega Man, Street Fighter, the Alien vs. Predator arcade game, which is just spectacular, Darkstalkers. I mean, the list goes on and on. They have had amazing franchises. They have created spectacular games. And they've always been a powerhouse. Now, Inafune left in November of 2010. And at the time, he had been working on Mega Man Universe and Mega Man Legends 3. Now, it was the Legends 3 that was huge because for over a decade, fans of Mega Man Legends have been left with a cliffhanger ending at the end of 2. Won't spoil it, just tell you it's a cliffhanger. If you haven't played those games, stop the video right now, go and play them. I'll wait. I'll wait. You need to play them. They're that good. Okay, I'm going to assume you finished playing them by now, but I'm still not going to give spoilers. So, Mega Man Legends 3 was announced, and it was announced to be developed in a very unique way. It was going to be developed with the help of the fans using something called oh god, what was it now? It was basically the Mega Man Legends 3 forum. They had created this open space where Legends 3 fans, the dev room, thank you. Brain's a little bit slow today. The Mega Man Dev Room. So fans were encouraged to sign up, join the forums, and give their input. They could vote on various art design choices. They could send in their own designs, and there would be votes on whose art would be included in what. It was a really interactive process. It was very cool, but Capcom felt, officially they said they felt there was not enough interest in the project to proceed. Now, they were creating a prototype version game that was basically a short episodic demo. There was going to be a sort of a prelude or like a bridge between Legends 2 and Legends 3. It was going to introduce 2 new characters, Barret and Arrow, and it was going to bring in that Legends world and take us to what they were going to do to bring Mega Man out of his cliffhanger problem. So, everyone was excited. We were all excited. And that was actually almost finished and ready for release. In July of 2011, so yeah, November 2010, Inafune left. July of 2011, Capcom just pulled the plug. They pulled the plug. They said, nope, you know what? Nope, not enough interest. We don't feel it's going to be financially good for us. We're not going to do it. We're not doing any more development. We're pulling the plug on that. They canceled Mega Man Universe and Mega Man Legends 3. Now, this was a shocking move for all of the fan community of Mega Man, for for the number of years that we had been basically pushed down and shoved aside, there hadn't been much aside from Battle Network and rehashes thereof for Mega Man fans to be excited about. And for those like me, don't kill me, not a Battle Network guy. Never liked them. Haven't collected them. They are absent from my shelves. But outside of that, we got Mega Man 9 and we got Mega Man 10, which were an excellent callback to the earlier retro days. They were beautiful games. So good. And then, nothing. Just the plug was pulled, the bar flatlined, Mega Man was gone. He's just dead. Especially our dreams of Legends 3. Now, there was an amazing movement, which still exists, 100,000 strong, for bringing back Mega Man Legends 3. They're at facebook.com/getmeoffthemoon. They're still there. They're still doing art. They're still keeping people aware of it. They're still pushing for that game to come out. They really want to see it released. I would still love to see it released, but I'm not as sure it still will. But the bottom line is, that was canceled, and for me, it was kind of a final straw. Capcom have been making a lot of bad business decisions, in my opinion. They had really gone downhill. The Resident Evil series had gone horrible places, although Revelations has done a lot to bring that back. But to pull the plug on Legends 3 like that, I was done. And I went on to the Capcom Unity website, onto my forum page, and I was very active there. Part of how I had managed to get a signed shirt with a hand-drawn picture of Mega Man on it that was signed by Inafune. I'd gotten the press kit for Mega Man 9. Like, it was a big thing, and I walked in and I just said, that's it, I'm out. I can no longer support your company with the decisions you make. I am boycotting Capcom. And I did. And I have not purchased a Capcom game with my money since they canceled Legends 3. Not one. Now, in the wake of this, there was an amazing void. I mean, it wasn't even a void, it was a vacuum where Mega Man stood. His 25th anniversary came and went without so much as a popcorn fart. The only thing that Capcom did besides release a really tacky silver statue, which... pardon me, sorry. Still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. The only thing they did was take somebody's fan-made 8-bit Mega Man vs. Street Fighter game, steal it from him, polish it a little, and then release it for free to the masses because it was supposed to bridge the anniversaries between Mega Man's 25th and Street Fighter's 25th. And guess what? Street Fighter got a year-long Bacchanalia Bond spiel of incredible joy, love, and attention. Mega Man got put in a sack, taken to the nearest river, and drowned. So I was done with these guys. I was pissed off. And I would not deal with them anymore. Fast forward a little while, and Keiji Inafune shows up at, I believe it was a PAX event, with an announcement. It was PAX. He announced he was starting a game called Mighty Number 9. Now, the video to announce this that was on his Kickstarter page pulled at every Mega Man heartstring you can find. Without overtly saying the name Mega Man, he made it very clear that this was the spiritual successor. This was his vision. Unchained from the corporate shackles of Capcom, he was free to create the game that we all wanted, and he was going to do it. And he made amazing promises. And he was going to do this the way Legends 3 was going to be done. There was a forum group created. There were the Beckers, because Beck is Mighty Number 9's official name. So the backers of the Kickstarter were involved. We got to vote on all different decisions, art decisions, character choices, modes. His Kickstarter smashed past the, I believe it was $900,000, or I believe it was $90,000. He wanted to actually get this going, and made $3 million. It was incredible. Meanwhile, Capcom seemed to be rehashing all of their old properties again and wallowing in their own crepulence. Now, this has to be understood as well. Capcom, they had lost the creator of Mega Man, they had lost the impetus behind Devil May Cry, and the guy responsible for Resident Evil. They had also closed the doors on Clover Studio that made Beautiful Joe and Okami. So which was a very, unique, kind of a niche thing. They were taking chances the way that Capcom used to of old. They were creating very artistic, very cool, very different, very unique games, but they were awesome. But because they weren't super multi-million-dollar blockbuster super sellers, yeah, close that studio down. Let's just, you guys can just fuck off now. Have a nice day. So that was it. So a lot of their creative pool was just gone. Now you've got Inafune running Concept, his own new company. He's nose to the grindstone. He's working his ass off, and everything looked great. I myself did an episode of Happy Console Gamer where I put my money in the Kickstarter on camera. You saw me do it, and I pledged as much as I could afford at the time, and I made sure to get all of the physical goods that I could manage. So I mean, I bid in where I was going to get a plushie of one of the enemies. I was going to get a physical box for a North American and Japanese style release with an instruction manual. I was going to get the North American and Japanese t-shirts. I was also going to get a hardcover art book and strategy guide that's hand signed by Inafune. I was over the moon excited. The new era had begun. And they promised a release date, which, as it edged closer, we saw there was a beta that was released that I personally have refused to play. I've refused to play anything about this game, touch anything about this game on my end, because I wanted to have a Mega Man 2 experience. When Mega Man 2 came out, I didn't know about it. I found it at a video store. I rented it. I brought it home, and it was religious. Beautiful. So I wanted to go into this game with very little knowledge. I've watched a couple trailers, that's it. I've listened to the one track they released at the very beginning of the Kickstarter, after the Kickstarter campaign closed down. It was supposed to be the title track. That's it. That's all I've done. So, but I did keep an eye on that release date, because, I want me that game. I've even pre-ordered 3 digital copies, because they weren't offering physical at the time. So I made sure I was going to get it for the Wii U, the Xbox One, and the PS4. So, stoked. Excited, unbelievably overjoyed at what's going to happen. And that release date showed up, and it swooshed by. Because that was supposed to be April of 2015. Then it was going to be delayed into November. Now, they have cited at Concept difficulties with the online multiplayer interaction and all sorts of other excuses, but here's where I start having problems. At first they said there were no problems, there was no delay, there was no delay, there was no delay, there was no delay, until their feet were nailed to the floor. That day had passed, and they said, oh yeah, well, it's delayed. Okay then. So no, but it's only delayed temporarily, and so it'll be a few months. November. And in the meantime, they had announced another game that was not being kickstarted, which was going to be called Recore for the Xbox One, which the video looked really cool, but okay, you're working on something else. You're a small development studio that's supposed to be getting this game out that you got $3 million for from your fans ahead of time. Huh. And then they also kickstarted a spiritual successor to Mega Man Legends 3 before this one was out. Still asking for more money. They had also in the interim kickstarted an animated show for Mighty Number 9 because they wanted some more money. And so they've done these Kickstarters, they've asked for all this money, and there's no product. There still isn't. I'm still waiting. They've now promised that it's going to be out in February of 2016, which, okay. They also announced that they had a partnership with Deep Silver, that, they were going to get physical copies. So now you can pre-order it at, you could pre-order it on, I think you still can, on Amazon and on GameStop, EB Games, and places like that, okay? And there was going to be a version, a super special version with a statue of Beck, the main character, even. Yeah, great! You can promise us the moon, but we don't have anything. So, my faith in Concept has unfortunately waned to the point that I'm really... I just want them to release the game. I want to get the game. I'm going to play the game, then I'm going to put it on a show. That'll be done. I'm not even really all that excited for it anymore. I hate to say, because of all this crap they've put us through. And I have, since heard tales that some of the issues that were happening at Capcom were actually due to Mr. Inafune himself and clashes he had with a lot of the senior management. So it's not entirely one-sided. So I've done as much research and poking around. I'm not going to spill a bunch of it here. I mean, Google is a thing. Please feel free. But in the end of the day, my faith in Concept has been shaken. And depending upon what we get when we get Mighty Number 9, it may be gone. I know that the spiritual successor to Legends 3 didn't make its goal, because a lot of us were tapped out from backing Mighty Number 9 and weren't too interested in giving more money to a company that couldn't produce the first game. And yet they appear to be continuing with that anyway, and it's going to be episodic. But I'm just not excited. They tried to kickstart an animated series to go with it, and again, you know. So, on the other side of that, there have been some games that have been released by Capcom that, by all accounts, have been excellent. The Resident Evil Revelations games, as a prime example. Also, Street Fighter V that's coming out, for all that it's, you know, yes, it's another numbered Street Fighter, but at least it's another number. You know, that was the other big thing with Capcom, was, you know, Street Fighter 4, and they promised, okay, we're going to do Street Fighter 4, and then we're going to have Super Street Fighter 4, and then that's going to be it. We'll go to another number. We promise not to have this, you know, extra worditis that we always have. And then they ended up with Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, and then Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition 2012, and then there was Ultra Street Fighter 4, and then there was Ultra Street Fighter 4 Omega. See where this is going, kids? I think we do. So, the Mega Man fans see all this money being dumped into Street Fighter and are going, huh? They have announced at Capcom within the last year or so that there's a new producer at the head of the Mega Man department, and they have big plans for him. And aside from announcing that they're going to make a new animated series, we've heard nothing. Again. So, I don't know what's going on. But I will say that my boycott of Capcom is over. Because Street Fighter V does look amazing. Some of the games they have released look amazing, and I want to play them. Now, I'm not going to cut off my nose to spite my face. It's been long enough. I know that Legends 3 isn't going to happen, or if it does, it'll be a happy miracle that I can tap dance about on a Christmas day. Okay? That'll be fantastic. But as far as I'm concerned, it's not going to happen, and Mega Man is done. And he had a great run. I love the little guy. I will love him till the day I die. But it's over. And I'm fine with that. I've made my peace with that. And I don't entirely blame Capcom for that happening anymore. With what's happened with Concept, with other news that's come forward, with the fact that it seems that some of the delays and some of the issues and problems that Capcom had may have come from the developer and not from the upper management. So, that being said, we have no solid proof of what's going to happen. But my gut tells me that I will be horribly underwhelmed by Mighty Number 9. And that we are, however, going to see some good things coming back out of Capcom in the future. I'm at least going to give them the benefit of the doubt on this one, because I miss a lot of their titles, and I feel ready to go back and check out what I did miss. So, you know, that's about it in a nutshell. I mean, you know, Concept, not so much. Capcom, I'm coming back. We'll see where it goes. But if you guys have any other information on this, please feel free to put it in the comments down below. Feel free to send it to me on Facebook, on Twitter. You know, join my forums. I have a forum website, www.robmanworld.com. That'll be in the description below as well. Feel free to hop in there and, you know, set up a topic, discuss the whole Legends 3, Mighty Number 9 thing, whether you're excited, whether you're not, why you are, why you aren't. Talk about it. Let's get a dialogue going, because I think a good thing to do would be to get this discussion going, and maybe we can get some of the game developers to give us a little more information instead of the no comment we usually get. So that's my 2 cents on all of that. Please check for all the links and everything else down below in the description, as I said. And otherwise, guys, I'll see you on the next one.